Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Now here we go, it's the big one, Leicester versus Chelsea at the King Power Stadium. This is the one fixture that we've been looking at for a little while since we lost to Man City as the big one, as the game where it's going to be very difficult, it's going to be very hard, and we need to be playing really well. If not, we will get decimated. This is the one we've been looking forward to. It's finally arriving. But before we get into what I think should happen, what I think Frank Lampard's going to do, etc., I'm going to ask you guys, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Let's get into it. So before I want to address a little bit of news that we've seen today regarding Haaland to Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea are pursuing Haaland this summer, according to The Athletic. And The Athletic have been quite reliable as of late. They've got very, very good, well-connected sources with Chelsea Football Club and some top journalists all lined up that are working for The Athletic. And they've come out today to say that Chelsea are pursuing Haaland in the summer. We're going to have to cough up a lot of money for this one if we do decide to go for Haaland. And it would mean having to deal with the most toxic agent in world football, Mino Raiola. So Marina, I wish you all the luck, love. I hope you, deal with it accordingly. And it's going to be the toughest challenge of your career so far, for sure. Good luck. But if we pull it off, we pull it off. I mean, what a signing that would be. Can you imagine Haaland to Chelsea? Timo Werner, hopefully banging in goals. And then alongside him, Haaland. I mean, we might as well just join the Bundesliga at this point. We're scouting all of our talent from Germany. We're getting linked with German managers. it's mad. Anyway, Haaland to Chelsea is a possibility in the summer. But if there's any more news, I will deliver it to you guys when it drops. Now, let's get into it. Leicester versus Chelsea. Leicester are our top team. Let's have it right. Brendan Rodgers has them playing very, very well. They've got very good chemistry. They've got a regular 11 that seems to be playing every week, and they all know each other very well. So they are getting results. They are currently sitting third in the Premier League, ahead of Liverpool. I mean, that just tells you, ahead of Liverpool, who are currently in fourth. We know Manchester City have the chance to go top, but it's all very touch and go at the top. However, I feel like we have to win this game, because if we don't, that gap gets extended even further. We don't want that. Leicester are 6 points ahead of us at the moment. It could turn to 9. You know, I don't want us to be in the position where we're having to look at the top four and then hope that each of them lose 3 games, you know, and we have to win all of our games. We can't afford to lose one more, because if not, that gap can get extended even further. We cannot put ourselves in that position, which is why us moving into the second half of the season, I look at this fixture against Leicester and I say, we got to win. It's as simple as that. We beat Fulham, flipping unnecessarily difficult circumstances and beating Fulham, but we beat Fulham, yeah, even if it was against a 10-man Fulham that have had all sorts of crisis happening at their training ground, players not training, this, that and the other, having to play Spurs 2 days later playing against us. We had 2 weeks off, played 1 game against Morecambe, and all of a sudden we're scraping a 1-0 against 10-man Fulham. It's not good enough. Let's be honest, that wasn't good enough. But the overlying factor, we won. We got 3 points, and I think that's all we're concerned about. But if we play in the same manner that we played against Fulham, and we bring that to the Leicester game, we are getting beat. I'm just going to put that there now. We are getting beat, especially at the King Power. We will lose. So I'm hoping that the Fulham game and the 3 points has provided some confidence and has installed some belief in our players that we can go to Leicester and get the job done. And I hope we learned a lot from that Fulham game. Why? Because in the last 15-20 minutes of that Fulham game, we went to a 4-4-2. Frank Lampard took off Jorginho, stuck Tammy Abraham on. He went up top alongside Giroud and eventually alongside Werner. We went to a 4-4-2, and that looked better. And that looked better for the one reason that I've been saying for quite a few games now. Our midfield looks empty. In a 4-3-3, our midfield is non-existent. And that's the one problem. And I believe that is why we're having to rely on our flanks all the time and crossing the ball into the box, because we got nothing going on in our midfield. We got no link. We're having our defensive midfielder, whoever it may be, having to deal with all the consequences if we lose possession and all of a sudden we're on a defensive transition. And it's just not good enough. And I've said now for a while that we need 2 midfielders to support each other, whether that's offensively or defensively. We can't just have one having to deal with it all by himself. And this is where N'Golo Kante has been struggling. And N'Golo Kante is out for the Leicester game. He will not be featuring in this one because of his hamstring issue prior to the Morecambe game, even though he was suspended. He will not be playing. So it's going to get quite interesting as to who Frank Lampard is going to select. Now, I've said I reckon Frank Lampard is going to go with a 4-3-3. It's as simple as that. I think he'll stick with it. I'll be surprised if he changes anything up. I'm glad he was brave to do that in the Fulham game, and it worked. It paid off. So if that's not a sign for him to do the same for this game, I don't know what is. But I really think he'll go to a 4-3-3. Anyway, if it were me, I would go with a 4-2-3-1. Let's get into the lineup. So I'd go with Edouard Mendy in goal. Now, at right back, I would go Reece James. He's available. He didn't feature in our last game against Fulham, but he was on the bench. Now, I'm hoping he's 100% fit and he's ready to go. If he is, he starts. So Reece James at right back. Left back, Ben Chilwell, who's been doing okay since he's come back from his injury. He's done decent. So he had one bad game since he come back, but after that, he's been fine. So Ben Chilwell at left back. Our centre-back pairing, for me, has to be Thiago Silva and Zouma. Without question. I just feel like there's chemistry there and there's something clicking. So let them run with it. Rudiger, for me, second half against Fulham was solid. So fair play. But that shouldn't mean that he's going to start playing every single week. No. Thiago Silva, Zouma is our best centre-back pairing and we all know it. So they start. Now, the two midfielders in front, in the pivot. Even though for this game, I wouldn't really call it a pivot. You know, I do want both of them to an extent. I would say one being a little bit more defensive. But overall, both of them contributing to the attack and the defense. I feel like we have the capabilities to do that. So for me, in those positions, I would have Billy Gilmour start in the absence of N'Golo Kante. For me, he's warranting of a start. We know what he's capable of. I fully trust him. Even though I believe he needs someone next to him to support him defensively, because he's a little lad. I feel he'll get dominated physically. If we are having to just say, Billy, all right, mate, you clean up against big lads, you know, Leicester do have in their midfield, he'll struggle. So I feel like as long as he has someone next to him, he'll be fine. But what the skill that he possesses on the ball, we know that he can pass quickly, he can move quickly, he gets into good positions, his spacing is fantastic, he can pick out a fantastic through ball, he can pick out a fantastic cross, he can pick out a fantastic ball over the top. We know Billy Gilmour is capable of all of that. So I would be happy if he got the opportunity ahead of Jorginho, because for me, Jorginho gets caught out defensively. It's as simple as that. Yes, we know he has similar traits in being able to attack. I don't feel like he moves the ball as quickly as he should though. I feel like he goes sideways way too much. He goes backwards way too much. And I feel like Billy Gilmour will be a little bit more attacking minded. So for me, Billy Gilmour starts. Now, alongside him, this is where it's going to get interesting. Alongside him is a player that I did say a few videos ago I might consider for the role. And against Fulham, we did see him play in this sort of role and it worked, because against Fulham for the last 15-20 minutes, we saw Mateo Kovacic and Mason Mount play as box-to-box midfielders. And they were both attacking and both defending. So they were both providing the energy needed. Kovacic overall had a shocker of a game. Let's have it right. Offensively and defensively. He was all over the place. But when he was in that box-to-box midfielder role alongside Mason Mount, they both looked comfortable. But Mason Mount had a great game overall. Now, in regards to who should be playing alongside Billy Gilmour, I'd give it to Mason Mount. Now, why? Because many would attribute Mason Mount as a player that is just attacking. You know, he presses high and he has all the energy going up top and he's there to score goals and provide assists. I see a different side to his game. I see someone that likes to get stuck in. I see someone that's physical. And those are some of the traits that I've seen in Mason Mount that I think is good. As I've said, I think he has his limitations. I think he's getting better. But some of the traits that you know he has, full of energy, likes to get stuck in, loves to tackle, can shoot a ball from distance. That's for sure. Great on set pieces. But overall, I think he benefits as being a very direct midfielder. We know he's not the most technically gifted footballer on the planet. We know he's not someone that you can expect to, you know, dribble past loads of players, nutmeg loads of players, have loads of skills. He's not that sort of player. He's a very direct player. I feel like we need that in midfield, even on a defensive basis. So this is where I think he has the energy and the capabilities to attack and defend and just play as an authentic box-to-box midfielder. Not someone that's going to just sit up there and wait for the ball up there and that's it. No. someone that can track back as well and play his part defensively. So alongside Billy Gilmour, I feel like he could offer that protection as well as have the energy to go forward and contribute to the attacks, get the ball on the edge of the D, take some shots, pass quickly. He has the capabilities for that. He done it against Fulham, especially in those last 15-20 minutes, and I feel like he can carry that into the Leicester game. So for me, Mason Mount alongside Billy Gilmour. Let's see how that would go. And in front of them, to aid the attack in his role, Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz didn't play the last one. We know he's fit. We know he's been playing better. When we brought him on the last few games, we know that he has looked better than prior to that. And he's starting to look a little bit in his element. And I want him to be in his position, which is as an attacking midfielder. Now, he would be someone that doesn't have to defend as much, but can offer another layer of protection. You know, in order to get past Mason Mount and Billy Gilmour, you would first have to get past Kai Havertz. So I'm hoping that he can provide that layer of protection, as well as receive the ball and play in his role. Do what you got to do. Try and get those assists. Try and play in those technical areas and try and contribute to goals and assists going forward. And hopefully he can get that job done. So Kai Havertz in the number 10. On the wings, I think for this one, it's clear as day and clear as crystal, okay? Callum Hudson-Odoi starts. I don't want to hear ifs, buts, maybes. No. Hudson-Odoi starts this one. And he showed again why he needs to. He came on against Fulham. Look how electric he was. He was fantastic. Fantastic. There's not much more he can do to prove to Frank Lampard, I need to start games now. You know, and if Frank Lampard is giving him the Pulisic treatment that he gave to Pulisic early on last season, we saw him try to leave him out of the team and Pulisic eventually proved himself. Well, if you're trying to give him the same treatment now, well, he's passed the test. It's as simple as that. Every time he's come on, he's played fantastic. So now he starts. So Hudson-Odoi on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, Hakim Ziyech. And we know what Hakim Ziyech can contribute to. Cutting inwards, his crosses into the box, his link-up play, Reece James on the overlap. We know Ziyech is very technical. Loads of skill, loads of capabilities. He starts on the right-hand side. And up front, it's safe to say Timo Werner doesn't deserve to start. That's for sure, you know, and he knows that. I know Timo knows that. So Timo's going to have to work his way back up from the bench. For me, Olivier Giroud on this one starts and we'll see what he does. Leicester are a very physical team. I feel like we will need to try and win a lot in the air. And I feel like with crosses into the box, Giroud is going to be the man. Hopefully he is someone that can link up with Kai Havertz quite well. If Kai Havertz is in that number 10 position, I hope that happens. Now, personally, as I've said, I think Frank Lampard will go to a 4-3-3. I think he'll go to a 4-3-3. I think we'll see Jorginho start. I think we'll see Mason Mount and possibly Kai Havertz start in the midfield. Kovacic will be the one that's dropped. Hudson-Odoi starting. I would say that's a big possibility. I do think Frank isn't silly enough to look at it and go, okay, you're not starting this one either. Surely Hudson-Odoi starts. And if he doesn't, there's a problem. At this point, there's a problem. So I reckon Hudson-Odoi will start this one. And up top, I think instead of Giroud, he might opt for Tammy Abraham. That's just my prediction. But I do think he'll go to a 4-3-3. We'll see what happens though. When the lineup comes out, we'll see if I'm right with my lineup. And if he does decide to go with a 4-2-3-1, that would be great. If he goes to a 4-4-2 because of the last 15-20 minutes against Fulham, which worked, he might just stick with a 4-4-2. We'll see what happens. Or if he reverts back to a 4-3-3, we'll see what players he chooses and whether I'm right in my prediction of what Lamps is going to do. Now, if we're looking for a score prediction, I hate this part because we beat Fulham. We beat Fulham and it was difficult. And it shouldn't have been that difficult. But we won. And hopefully that gives us some confidence. So I don't know what angle to take. Are we confident and now we're starting to come out of our shell? Or are we the same Chelsea that's going to make the same mistakes against a Leicester team that we know is playing top-level football and in turn will probably get done? I don't know what way we're going to show up. I really can't call it. So I'm going to be, you know, down the middle. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am going to say Leicester 1, Chelsea 1. I said it for the Fulham game. It didn't work out that way. Thankfully, we won. It didn't finish 1-1. It finished 1-0. I'm going to say 1-1 for the Leicester game and hopefully we get the same result. Fingers crossed. But that would be my prediction. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. How would you shape up the team? Do you agree with my lineup? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear your opinions. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Be sure to catch the watch along tomorrow night. I will be doing a watch along for the game so we can watch it all together and see it all unfold. That's going to be very interesting. And then immediately after the game, I will give you guys a full match review. So yeah, I will see all of you tomorrow on the watch along. Come on, you Blues. Let's go to the King Power and get 3 points. Please, we need it. We really do. I'll see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care. And peace.